Welcome in Maastricht and in this beautiful car.
Thank you.
At FASHIONCLASH, of course.
Yes.
Can you introduce yourselves?
I'm Drew.
I'm James.
Hi.
Photographer. Fashion.
Yep.
Yeah, of all sorts.
Drew works under the label No Labels,
Yeah.
and we kind of partnered together on this project.
Yeah.
Nice. And you're all the way from?
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles.
Los
That's
Angeles.
very good. Nice.
We also live next door to each other.
Exactly. Which is
Actually,
kind of how this happened, because we were working together and on a couple of shoots, and we're like, oh, let's think of this idea, and it came up, and now we're like,
we can ring your door in the morning,
Just like-
bring you coffee,
Yeah.
and then
So
we can have a
close.
meeting.
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly.
That's a good collaboration.
It's pretty nice, actually.
And I saw some beautiful photos on Instagram, of course.
Thank you.
You with, how do you call it? With the headpieces?
Yeah.
Did you made it?
Yeah, we made the headpieces, and
Nice.
then
We designed and made them. Actually.
Yeah.
They were inspired, but we took the inspiration to kind of a new level. And, that was actually a major point of our piece, was that it was something new, and these headpieces weren't just direct translations from something else. To adapt a piece of religious, wearable iconography, and put that on somebody who, at first glance wouldn't belong to someone, that whatever
Wouldn't be
group
allowed
would
into
wear
that.
that sign.
Yeah, it's
So,
beautiful.
the original idea was actually just a hijab on a transgender model, and then of course, as soon as the idea was floated out, we started to build on it, and there were so many good growing points, I guess, that we found within the project to flesh it out into a whole series.
Cool.
So,
Yeah, it looks very beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to say in LA there's a all transgender modeling agency called Slay Models, and that's something that you just don't really find anywhere.
Yeah.
And
I
they
don't
made
think
this,
we have that in Holland.
They made this project a million times easier to complete.
Yeah, I can imagine.
They're a huge part of the process.
How long did it take? From the start of the idea?
We've tried to answer this
Yeah.
question in the past. It's
The making of it was only like a week and a half,
Right.
But the planning,
actual work,
and
but-
we made it beginning of July last year is when we actually shot it. So till this point, so we've kind of gone through a lot of the chapters to be able to get to that point. But
the preparation process and the design of the headpieces, the finding of the models, and really the buttoning up of a lot of concepts that we wanted, or ideas that we wanted to touch on, and smartly comment on within the project without being too on the nose, without being too obvious about what we were trying to say. It took a lot of time. But what really helped was working with the modeling agency and talking with the models, hearing all of them being members of the trans community, hearing their opinions on the project and their enthusiasm around the project, and actually contributing in some ways to the final product, beyond just modeling it, of course. That really helped, at least for me.
there's also a play beyond
give me that confidence.
Beyond just, we will also want to be very reverent to the transgender community and all that, and what beyond it. But there's also could be a beautiful moment where somebody who is very against that type of lifestyle could see this picture without any context and see something beautiful, you know, and to be able to pass beyond that wall that we create, the structures that we create around that, and be able to see without seeing, with jaded eyes, let's say, and that could be a beautiful moment as well.
And so the theme of FASHIONCLASH this year is "Fashion is my religion."
Yeah.
So that's great.
Yeah.
I
think we said that exact same.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
What do you think it means for you?
Fashion, my religion.
Yeah.
I think more than ever before, the interpretation of what religion is from person to person is more fluid than ever before. Let's say more subjective than ever before. I think a lot of people are finding spirituality as something that speaks to them more than large established religion. And I think with spirituality, maybe you start to identify as an individual more than as somebody within this larger organization. So when I heard "Fashion My Religion," it speaks to that subjectivity and the ability to have your own interpretation of what religion is.
It also goes back to the structure again too. You can create your own structure. You can live within the structure of a church and a community and that kind of idea and those people, or you can find your own moralities and your spirituality through nature or people or whatever it is around there.
Each of the headpieces were inspired by 6 major religions, but they were not representative of a single religion, if that makes sense. They are kind of amalgamations of a few different inspirations. It would be Buddhist, Sikhism, Taoist.
We have a Taoist monk, and we have Muslim and
Christian, Islam, and Judaism.
Yeah. That's the cool thing about this project is like we had like 7 days to make those kind of things, the headwear. So each day we kind of had to like jump hardcore into finding images around the world of these different, and that's the only way because we couldn't see them or touch them really. We had to like just Google search almost.
We had 7 days because we procrastinated.
I had another project.
But we got it done. We got it done.
Great.
But it is interesting.
I'm just saying that out loud, so when I watch the interview later, I'll remind myself next time.
Start earlier.
It was an interesting experience for sure. It was definitely both of us grew a lot out of it.
And well, I have just one some kind of Miss Universe question for you guys.
Okay.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
World peace.
Bring my bikini, but no more bikinis. They took that out.
Do you think that fashion can contribute to a better world?
Let me take that one.
Go ahead, Drew.
Yeah. One of the greatest things about fashion is that no matter who you are, even if you're a fashionable person, you have to interact with it. Everybody wears clothes at some point, So the elevated part of fashion and what people who are aware of that, it speaks a lot to an individual voice and how that we individually speak to this world and how do we be somebody who is very fashion forward. One big thing is they allow people to look into them. That idea of like look at me is like idea of I'm open to the world. You come to me. This is what I say. If you want to respond to it, whether you hate it or love it or whatever, this is how we come back to it. This is the way that we start communicating and to be able to talk without or communicate without words is beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, something as literal as a graphic T-shirt is just you're walking billboard. If you're wearing something that makes a political statement or whatever, maybe someone could argue that's not fashion, but that's absolutely fashion in my mind. And if you're saying something, if you're contributing to an overall conversation, especially in regards to something that's very important, I think it's incredibly important.
Well, I think we're here.
Wow.
Yay.
We must be here. It's like Cash Cab. It's perfect timing.
Those the lights are coming.
Well, thank you guys.
Thank
I will
you.
See you Saturday.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And I'm gonna check it out. Your
Okay.
Please.
Please do. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yay.